In the early days of having makeup, people didn't know how to put makeup, what colours went on my skin. I really enjoyed my 40s.
Ooh.
I really enjoyed it. I just felt much more settled. See, my mum was devastated.
Hello and welcome to Second Act, the podcast and community for women in midlife who refuse to fade into the background. I'm your host, Ateh Jewel, and I'll be speaking to celebrity guests about the moment they knew they were in their second act and how they're changing the game in their next one. Our podcast would not be possible without our wonderful sponsors, Absolute Collagen. It's a simple daily supplement that stimulates your body's natural collagen production, improving skin from within, and their clinical trials speak for themselves. So if you're curious, try the Absolute Collagen commitment and see what it does for you. Our guest for this week's episode is broadcaster and legend Naga Munchetty, whose journalism career has spanned for over 25 years. You'll know her as a very familiar face on BBC Breakfast. She's just released a book, It's Probably Nothing, Critical Conversations on the Women's Health Crisis and How to Thrive Despite It. We're going to have such a great discussion. I'm overexcited. Let's get into it. Buckle up and welcome to Second Act, Naga Munchetty.
Well done on getting my name right.
It only took 5 goes.
No.
I am so excited to chat to you. You are so fabulous and we have crossed paths a few times. But I wanted to ask you, if you could summarize your first act in 3 words, what would they be?
My first act in life.
Yes.
Filled with mistakes.
Oh,
Exploratory.
love that.
Stupidly fearless.
Yeah, like, I love that. I think I was stupidly fearless. You know, I call it being a punk. And it really has helped me. How did that help you?
Think when you are stupidly fearless, you make mistakes.
Yeah.
And you get knocked down.
Mm-hmm.
And you bounce back. And you learn that you can bounce back. And you learn that mistakes are okay if they're done with the right intention. Mm-hmm. And I think and I say that deliberately because I probably made mistakes where I hurt people with things I said because I was stupidly fearless. Mm-hmm. And I learned to be better. I learned to be more considerate, more thoughtful about other people's shoes. And yet I knew that I would push when needed. And if I spoke up for something, even if the whole world, as it felt, didn't agree, but I knew I was right, I knew it would get through at some point. Stop caring about what everyone thinks. Stop modifying yourself. Stop making yourself small to please people. I did too much of that.
Oh, so you were like that, the disease to please? Have you got that? Did
Yes,
you have that?
very much so. Very much so. Like, you know, scared of authority, mindful of authority. Not unquestioning, but too accepting of nonsense from authoritarian figures.
Do you feel that, because culturally we're very similar, I'm a Nigerian, Trinidadian background, I call it hot country culture.
Yes.
We're all the same.
Yes.
Food, God, or some kind of spirituality, and rules, and you're like, don't shame yourself.
Honor, yeah.
Don't air your dirty laundry. Like, you know,
Yes.
I know, I don't live with you, but I know exactly how you grew up, because it was probably the same
It
as
was
mine.
the same.
So, like, do you think that comes from that, from your background as well?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, do as you're told. Don't make a fuss. Yeah. And also that comes from, and as you get older, you understand your parents. Both my parents were immigrants. That idea of trying to assimilate, and
to
not
survive,
not face the racism they did, not face the kind of dismissal they did. Kind of use the system, work hard. You'll work. You know, that ethic. Work hard. You'll be rewarded. You'll have financial security. And all of that. And of course, I do still have all those beliefs. But with that came being small.
Yeah. You have to fit in
Yes.
to the model. I mean, in your job, you face a lot of public scrutiny. How do you maintain such a strong sense of self in the face of all of that? And does it hurt you?
Well, you're asking a lot.
Well, I mean, I can relate.
You're a demanding woman.
I can relate because, I mean, when I started doing Good Morning Britain and This Morning, people were like, I had everything from go eat a banana, and I'm like, ooh, that's real retro racism, to like, who do you think she is? It's disrespectful to wear pink. You know, why is the makeup lady talking about politics? Newsflash, I can talk about Putin and lipstick, love. And I've had
Because makeup artists don't read or watch the news.
Literally. Like, and you know, being put in a box, and I have put myself in lots of boxes. So I had the first taste of that, and wow, but you've had this for like 25 years.
Yeah.
I've had it for 5.
Yeah, and I actually think it's not as bad as it used to be.
Oh, it was worse.
Oh, much worse.
Like in terms of racism or sexism?
Oh, all of it. All the isms. But in terms of when I started, I looked... I mean, we have a much more diverse showing on television now. I don't remember a black woman being on breakfast television talking about makeup. No, I remember when, in the early days of having makeup, people didn't know how to put makeup, what colours went on my skin. And which never happens now. No. You know, I can be perfectly comfortable. And I would often think, if only I had a brown person doing my makeup, because they'd understand my skin. And there were some brilliant makeup artists, but there were some terrible ones because there weren't many brown people on telly.
All the products.
Exactly.
And you were gaslit into being like, oh, you look amazing. No, I look ashy. Yes. Please stop it.
Yes, or you've whitened me.
Yes.
Or, oh no, we don't have that product in. You know, so I think it's got a lot better in terms of the industry, in terms of representation. Mm-hmm. But in the early days, I was... told repeatedly I was the token appointment. And
not based on your talent, not based on who you are.
No, I was ticking a box.
Ooh, like internally, externally, that was the messaging you had.
Do you know, I spoke to a colleague not so long ago who was talking to me about different opportunities. And I was talking about how when I got breakfast, you know, I was seen as the token appointment. And they actually said to me, well, yeah, but you're not anymore, are you? Because you've proven yourself in the job.
So cross for you. Like, I'm so cross
and they don't know what they said, and I'm really offended. And I just thought, I haven't got time to explain to you what you've just said.
Yeah.
I haven't got time.
Just know, newsflash, for anyone to be in the room who has been othered in their life, they are 10 times harder, 10 times work better, and have had to put up with 10 times more nonsense.
And that is not
just to be in the same place.
And that is not to say anyone else who hasn't had those otherness hasn't worked hard. That's not what people who have done this, who have worked hard, are saying. They're just saying they've worked hard and because of extra barriers.
Yeah, and soaked up more nonsense. Facts. Was there an instant that you knew, second act?
I think it was probably... when someone had bashed me, you know, either on social media or in life. And I just realised that they were fools. Mm. And I just realised that some people will bash you because they just don't like you and they just want to bash you. They don't listen to what you're saying. They don't read what you've written or anything like that. They just want to bash you. And I thought, I'm not someone who's going to ignore criticism. I enjoy constructive criticism. It makes us better. But no longer am I giving you any time if you are just out to bash me and bring me down. Because I work bloody hard. Yeah. I try to be the best I can be at everything I do. I, you know, from folding up the clothes from the clothes horse. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm very particular about how it's done. Very particular about what goes in which drawer. If I'm mopping a floor, if I'm cleaning the cat bowls, you know, it has to be done well. And I've always been like that, and that's fine. But don't bash me because you want to, and you want to dismiss anything I do. Because you don't know me.
Yeah.
And also, I don't want you to know me.
And it's not even about you. It's usually about them.
Of course it is. Like, and I think it was then when I finally thought, I'm not listening anymore.
Yeah.
I will listen if what you are saying has any grounds, you know, of real worth in terms of thought. Otherwise, I'm not listening to you.
Have you, like, I've always used criticism and sort of bashing and racism and all the nonsense I've had as fuel. Have you converted it to fuel, or do you just let it wash over you like water?
I won't countenance racism.
Yeah.
I will not use it as fuel. Yeah. In the sense, if someone is angry that I am doing what I'm doing because I am a certain skin colour, or I just think it's more for you, because you're not living in the world that we live in. You're not getting it, and you have problems.
Yeah.
Misogyny
Is that your trigger?
riles me. It properly riles me.
It's just so
And
it's so silly. It doesn't make sense.
well, none of the isms make sense,
They don't
do they?
make sense.
But that really, and I just think, you know what? Here's me, my breasts and my vagina, and I'm sitting down, and I am in a position that I've earned, and I am in a position that you don't think I should be in because what? Because my body is strong enough to give birth. I can grow a human, and you're angry with me for daring to have a voice or speak or have earned my position.
Yeah.
Yes, keep staying angry.
Yeah.
Stay angry, because I'm not going.
It's like you're going to get yourself in a tiz. Like a toddler.
Yes.
Get yourself in a tiz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
And people, you're annoyed with me because I don't, and then you're annoyed with me because I don't look like a woman enough for you.
Oh my God. It's just, you can't win, can you, with these
I
people?
don't want to win.
You don't want to win?
I don't want to win because they've already lost.
Yeah.
I'm already winning.
By just being yourself.
Just being here. My existence is riling them so much.
And you just have to, you just have to ride you have to be fearless enough to be yourself and know that's going to irritate people. And that is a form of protest as well, which I find delicious. Just being your authentic self is a form of protest and progress.
It bothers them so much. Even if I laugh, it bothers them that I'm happy.
You're 50 now. What did your 40s mean to you?
I really enjoyed my 40s.
Ooh.
I really enjoyed it. I just felt much more settled in myself.
In your skin?
In my skin, yeah. And with my brain, with
Yeah.
my mind. I didn't stop being ambitious. I never will. But I stopped chasing so hard. and worrying about what everyone else was doing and why I wasn't doing it.
FOMO.
Proper FOMO. And it wasn't resentment that anyone was successful. I love seeing other people's success, but I just felt constantly as if I was underachieving.
I've got that.
And you still do in many ways.
Type A personality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think I kind of came to terms with just being a bit kinder to myself, just looking back and just saying it's okay. You're doing your best, and you're doing okay. And for me, and you'll know this culturally, for me, having some kind of financial security, being able to do nicer things in life and being able to reward myself. And I think actually it was learning to, for example, go on holiday and not fear that I was not doing my job and that someone else would be doing it. And guilt, and that someone else would be doing it and doing it better. I stopped doing that. Yeah. Absolutely stopped doing that. I just became a little bit more calm.
It is. I completely relate to that, and it's slipping into kind of the chaser into the attractor. You feel you're attracting.
No.
Well, I tell my children this. They, when it comes to friendships or opportunities, stop chasing, attract. Let your frequency just, I'm such a hippie. I was like, let your frequency just rain and shine, and then your people will come to you. Your people, your tribe, friends, opportunities. Just be brave enough to be your frequency, and things will come to you.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Well, for example, instead of chasing the cool crowd,
never did.
Be a little nerdaletto, sit in the art studio, do your art, and then somebody will be like, oh, I love that. I like drawing too. That's attraction versus chasing.
Yeah, I completely understand what you're saying. I just couldn't be someone that sits still.
Interesting.
So what I think I've done, which I don't know which way this fits into your theory, is so obviously writing a book or having a radio show, doing something different and daring to think I could be good at it. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think before I was like, why am I not doing well at the one thing I do?
Yeah.
So it was being braver to kind of explore a little bit, still apply the same principles when the opportunities came up. But I would never sit back and expect the world to come to me.
I actually think that you're proving my theory. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and that's you going, and then things come to you because it's so good. You say, you are being the brightest frequency, in doing your radio show, in writing your book, and then good things come to you.
But I think that if you have a certain work ethic, you don't believe things will come to you. You think you have to just keep working.
You're a grafter.
Yeah.
Just work hard, one step after the other, and then what will be for you will be for you.
Exactly. Rather than I don't think things will come. I just think work hard, keep working hard, keep working hard.
Yeah. That is kind of what I'm saying. Don't just sit back and let things happen.
No.
You.
Absolutely
No. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
I'm like, do you and do you to the best ability, and then what is for you will come to you.
Yeah.
I think, especially being a black woman, no one wanted to see me on TV. No one wanted to do this. No one wanted me. So you just go and do it. I've been freelance since I was 22 and just created my own path.
Yeah, you see, I started out freelance, and you never lose the freelance mentality of taking all the work that's on offer.
You never say no.
You never say no.
Have you got a freelance spirit, a freelance soul?
Always.
You never say no, and you are a hunter. Are you a hunter?
Yeah,
I'm a hunter.
Yeah, a hunter. Although I still think, as part of a hangover, maybe of the first act, I don't quite have the self-belief that I should hunt. That I'm the person who should be hunting, even though I can hunt.
That's crazy to me. You are such a hunter. And what I mean by this is what I mean by like opportunity.
Yeah, so I'm still that person who there may be things I want, but
you won't go for it.
But because I don't know if I should. I don't know if I'm deserving of it or. Yeah, so I still have that.
Yeah. That is always a sign of a truly talented person.
Oh, they're very kind.
No, it's the truth. I was saying before in another session, like, it's always the people with the most talent who doubt themselves. Like I was saying to my therapist, like, you know, my family, there's a lot of toxic behavior, a lot of kind of narcissism and a little bit of the sociopathy and a little bit of this and that. And I was saying to my therapist, do you think I'm a bit of a narcissist? Do you think I'm a bit of this? Do you think I'm that? And he was like, narcissists don't, or people with toxic traits don't sit around asking whether they are. Yes. They think they're amazing. They think they're brilliant. I'm the best goddamn mother. Like, am I a good mom because I didn't do this and I'm really working on... They don't sit around critiquing or asking. They just think they're amazing. And in the same way, really clever, talented people, they, ooh. And the people who haven't got that much are like, I smashed it. So it's a sign of talent.
It's like I always say to younger people when they ask me for advice, don't listen or believe the loudest voice in the room is right. Because how many meetings have you sat through, particularly when you're younger, where there is someone wanging on with some nonsense and the whole room's nodding and you're sitting there and your head is going, this person is talking utter nonsense.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense because of this, and this. But because the whole room, because they're loud.
Yeah, and confident.
And they're literally telling you the sky is yellow or purple.
And they believe it, which is
and
creepier.
Everyone's like, yes, you're so right.
Yeah.
And you think this isn't going to work logistically or anything. And you don't say anything when you're younger. So, and then you go away thinking, well, I'm not going to say what I thought because everyone thinks that is right.
It must be right.
So it's one of my pieces of advice. Don't listen. Don't ever believe that the loudest voice in the room is right. And trust your own instinct to speak up.
Have you heard this expression? I think I made it up. May you have the confidence of an incompetent middle-aged man. I think I made it up, but I'm like, please bless me with the confidence of an incompetent middle-aged man.
It's a rather wonderful saying.
In a board meeting, and you know what I'm talking about. Well, I wish that for all of our listeners. But anyway, were you excited to turn 50?
Yes.
Why?
I've lived half a century.
It's brilliant when you say it out loud.
Do you know how few people get here?
Like, literally, it is a gift.
Yes.
It is a gift.
Yes. And I'm healthy and I'm enjoying my life and I have opportunities. I have a job I love. I have friends and family I love. I do nice things. I have golf in my life. The great thing about golf is you can be a brilliant golfer with a 36 handicap because you just need to be the best golfer you are at that time. Be the best at what you are. So if you're 20 years old, you cannot expect to have the life experience of a 50-year-old person.
Yeah.
But you can be a brilliant 20-year-old.
Oh, sport is life. Sport is life.
Golf is life.
golf is life. What do you like about golf?
It's selfish.
Ooh, please expand.
It's all about you. Golf, you can be in a group of 4, you can be in a pair, but golf is all down to you. You're not being hit a ball like you are in tennis, so you can't blame someone else. I always say golf is like an abusive relationship. It batters you and batters you and batters you, and then you have one sweet shot, and it's like that kiss or cuddle that gets you going back for more. Yes.
Whatever we're playing, there has to be power dynamics and nonsense.
Exactly.
But basically, golf is wonderful because golf is life, and you love it.
Yes.
And it makes you feel peaceful and tormented.
Your swing is reflected. Your personality is reflected in your swing.
Yeah.
And
how do you swing?
Aggressive.
Did you know that from our mid-20s, our bodies make less collagen? And of course, menopause accelerates the whole process so that by the age of 55, most women have lost about half of their natural collagen in their skin. What the hell? Collagen is something that I've been looking into for some time, and it's so reassuring to find a brand just like Absolute Collagen who've done all the hard work and research for me. It's a simple daily supplement that stimulates your body's natural collagen production, improving skin from within, and their clinical trials speak for themselves. 100% of women said that their wrinkles were reduced, that it helped boost their skin elasticity and their hair. Absolute Collagen is the perfect partner for Second Act. They understand women in midlife because they've been there. Their mission is to help us redefine ourselves in this bold new chapter, glowing from the inside out thanks to their balance of beauty and biology. I love this no-fuss approach because Absolute Collagen is all about embracing the life you're living right now to find the best version of yourself at every age. The chance to love the person you're becoming, more confident, more potential, more you. So if you're curious, try the Absolute Collagen commitment and see what it does for you. Absolute Collagen is now available on 3 for 2 in Boots stores and at boots.com. What are you doing differently in your second act compared to your first act?
I'm trying to manage my time better.
That's interesting.
I'm trying not to say yes to everything, but failing.
Yeah.
And that's the freelance mentality.
I was going to say, how can you say no? No is very powerful, but I'm not there yet.
I have said no to a few things. Like, people are saying, can you do this in relation to, what you've been talking about in terms of women's health and stuff. And I've had to say no. I'm a bit of a chicken like that, so I'll pass it on to my brilliant publicist and say, please, can you say no?
Because you're nervous to talk about it, or you just don't want to go there?
No, because I don't like offending people.
Oh.
Who ask, for something.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm kind of at that. I'm trying to say no and trying to take time. I cannot remember the last time I was awake and not thinking about what needs to be done.
You have a busy mind.
Yeah, I have a busy mind and I also have a busy life.
Yeah.
I have lots of things to do. And I'm constantly saying, it'll be better in a few months. I'll have some time. And it's not. And so I need to say no so I actually can have an afternoon where I go and read a book for pleasure.
Have you done? And when was the last time you did that?
Well, I went on holiday and it was a busy holiday. So I managed to read. I read on the plane. Mm-hmm. I read a book on the plane and that was for work. So it wasn't a book for, pure pleasure.
For pleasure. When was the last book for pleasure?
I was given a book for my birthday. Oh no, for Christmas. I still haven't finished. And I'm a fast reader because I read about 3 or 4 books a week for work.
Yeah.
And watch things and things like
That's
that.
Amazing.
So
and you love books.
I love it, and you have to respect people when you interview them, about their books and everything. Because also there's a sense of pride. I want my interview to be the best one they have.
Yeah, it's competitive. It's competitive reading. You've been very open about your decision not to have children. I bet people will come for you about that. What is your perspective on society expectations of women in midlife? Because especially around the family and all the pressures, because that's something so many women have to deal with, and it feels still so medieval. And how do you feel about that?
I think it's changing.
Yeah.
I think we have there is a concern about the population.
Yes.
And the birth rate. And I think it's changing. And I think what's happening now, well, there are many things happening. I think what's happening now is that society is realising just how hard and expensive it is to have children. Not just money, it's hard.
Yes.
And, when you look at paternity, maternity leave, parental leave, it doesn't work for everyone. It's really hard. I think my colleague Emma Barnett has written a book called Maternity Service. And she's right. It is not maternity leave. You're not off.
No.
You're keeping a human alive.
Yes.
Who doesn't know what it wants, when it wants it, how it wants it, or how to express itself, and you're not sleeping.
Yes, a future taxpayer. We're helping
Indeed,
the system. Thank
indeed.
you.
And you are also a taxpayer.
Yes.
And contributing to society and taking on the role of caring more than men. I'm not saying men don't do it. I'm saying more women do it.
Yes.
And I think that if you don't make life easy enough for the partners to contribute equally, effectively, or there's some equanimity, then you are going to see more and more people choose to not have children. Not because they don't want a family, because it's too hard.
Yeah.
So society needs to look at this, policy needs to look at this. It needs to be much higher than, oh, you're of childbearing age. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, oh, why haven't you bought a house? Why haven't you bought a flat? Can't afford it. Why are you wearing those clothes? Because, again, why have you only got one suit for work? Because I can't afford it. So, and so why on earth would you have children?
Yeah. Especially if you're ambitious with your lifestyle, with your this, with your that.
Yeah, I think once upon a time it used to be thought that if you had a career, you were selfish because you were focusing on your career. I don't think that's the attitude now. I think people are like, it's just too hard. It's too expensive. Childcare, flexibility in the workplace. I think it's hard. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying you shouldn't have children. I just think that there are more barriers to having children enjoyably.
And it's not a given anymore. And it's so true. I speak to so many younger people in their 20s, my friends' teenage children, including one of my girls, was like, brace yourself, I don't think I'm having kids. Fair.
See, my mum was devastated. She's a different generation, obviously.
She's a different generation. I said, think about it, because what I said to her was like, not going to lie, a lot of it is kind of boring. But you have brought a lot to my life, and you're really fun, and you're this and that. But then also I completely understand if you just want to do you, and you just want to work really hard and contribute to society. And I just did the whole argument.
You should be able to do all of it.
Yeah, but I said, but you know what? I said, it's your body, it's your decision.
My mum gets it now. My mum gets it.
Is your mum still upset?
No. No, she's so proud of me and so happy to see me happy and thriving.
Yes.
And I think she does feel, and this is the work ethic, I think she does feel I didn't not have children because I was lazy and then didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's conscious.
It was conscious, and I'm doing lots of other things and living a really fulfilling life.
And purposeful and helpful.
And so I think she sees that. So I don't think she thinks I've wasted the opportunity.
Well, that's really beautiful of your mother to be, she's evolved out of her conditioning, because we've all been conditioned.
Yes.
And so I think you just want your kid to be happy. And you're like, if you're happy, I'm happy. And that's, And
my mum has evolved in that sense, because I think at the start it was, you will be this. She was the one who said to me, what are you going to be, a poet, when I told her I was studying English at university.
That made us laugh, didn't it?
I
I studied history and I went to beauty. You were like, you're going to be a poet and I'm going to be a makeup artist, which I would love to be a makeup artist. In my mind, I am a makeup artist, but I was a beauty journalist, but they just didn't get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she has absolutely evolved. And I think that's wonderful when you see people of older generations who once were so immovable, and they learn to move. It's, different acts, isn't it, at different times.
Free yourself. But you have written this book talking about new acts, and you are now an author.
I know.
This is a new act for you, and it's called It's Probably Nothing, Critical Conversations on the Women's Health Crisis. Can you tell us about it? And number one, thank you for writing this book, because this is huge.
Do you know what happened when I came into your offices?
What happened?
So I needed to nip into the loo because I asked if this podcast was visualised, and I was like, yes. I was like, fine, I'll put some makeup on. Okay.
Oh God!
Because I don't wear makeup usually, and I went into the loo and I was just whacking a bit on. Don't judge it. And this woman came up to me and said, thank you for writing your book.
Oh.
And she has a gynaecology appointment, and she has adenomyosis, and she was diagnosed the same age I was, at 47. And she was saying, you know, I think I'm just going to have it all out. I'm done with the pain. I'm done with it. And thank you. And she said, I said, have you looked at the checklist? Have you thought about what you're going to say and the questions you're going to ask? She goes, no, I'm just going to go refer to the book. How cool's that?
You're changing people's lives, literally. You are giving them
so.
a safe space, a signpost, education, and I think
I'm arming them.
You're arming them. You're giving. You're packing their toolbox. Could you tell me a little bit more about the condition and like what you've been through?
So adenomyosis is like, you've heard of endometriosis.
Yes.
So it's the evil twin. It's known of endometriosis. So
It's
endometriosis.
even more evil.
Evil, I think. No,
The
I
pain
think
is
as
horrific
evil.
of both. Like
Of
the pain,
both,
it's
yeah.
pain,
And one thing I've definitely learned about me and others is pain is subjective, but pain is pain.
Yes. Yes.
If you are in pain, you're in pain.
Yeah.
Okay. It basically is the lining of the endometrium growing outside of the uterus. So usually the lining grows on the inside and it is shed once a month or however long your cycle is, every 28 days, and that's your period. But this endometrium lining grows outside the uterus. Now, what happens is, I don't know how much you know about the cycle, so apologies if you know everything. But for those who don't know, is when you produce estrogen or progesterone, various parts of the cycle, the endometrium grows. Now, when it's spread outside the uterus, it goes into the muscle, and so when it grows, it tears the muscle. So that is pain as well. It can also contribute, as endometriosis does, to very heavy periods, intense pain, and that in itself has all consequences: fainting, diarrhea, passing out, cramps, awful, fatigue, all sorts of stuff.
Can it fuse organs as well? Like
Endometriosis can, and adeno can. So it spread into my upper thighs and my lower back, and so that's when you have flares. And I now take medication to suppress the production of my hormones so that these don't flare, so I don't have this pain and I don't bleed. And when I used to bleed, I would flood, and I would be setting an alarm at night every 3 hours to wake up and change my period products.
It is so, and also, not being funny, being on TV.
I never wear white on the bottom.
Because the anxiety, because I have had fibroids in the past and I have pulps, and I bled every day for 2 months, and I was
I've been there, yeah.
And I was like, it was just so scary, and I was still married, and I was just like battling on, and I was in that not a self-care. And I remember the hospital calling and saying, you need a blood transfusion. I'm like, I'm afraid I'm going to be filming Glow Up, and I'll get a green juice. And my friend was like, you don't need a green juice, you need to get a blood transfusion. And I was like, it'll be fine, I've got a green juice from Whole Foods. I'm battling through and ignoring and just praying that I didn't bleed through on Glow Up, like the season finale. And the anxiety it gave me was horrific. So you've had that for years.
Oh, for me, being anemic was normal.
Oh, it was.
This girl in the bathroom said, I'm anemic, and just threw it out there. Yeah, I'm anemic.
Yeah.
Women who bleed that much,
anemic,
you are anemic, and you can become anemic,
tired,
and that's exhausting.
You didn't have irritability?
No, I was just exhausted, and because I thought it was normal. I'd been told it was normal.
Yeah.
And there is a real distinction. If something is common, it doesn't mean it's normal.
Yes.
Okay? So, because I'd been told, one doctor just said, women have periods.
Oh, God, the ignorance.
But when you are told it's normal and you feel you're making a fuss, you then fight harder because you think, well, one, I thought I wasn't doing woman well at all for a very, very long time. One, I thought all the other women in the world, because I was normal, going through this and coping and thriving.
Oh, well, I must be the problem because
Exactly.
I can't cope.
Exactly.
And, then that's
and
another
I've
thing
dared to
yourself,
complain.
hit yourself with.
I've dared to bring it up, and I'm weak. So
Yeah.
you fight harder. You push yourself even harder. So I don't think I wasn't irritable. And if I was in pain, I'm one of those people who's just like, leave me alone. I will sit here until it goes. I will take the painkillers, and I often took way too many painkillers. I will sit here until it goes, or I will get through this. Leave me alone. I'm not going to talk to you because that energy I don't have. So if that's irritable, fine. Then I was irritable in that way. But no, I just, it was self-protection.
It's isolating to be in pain
Yeah.
and to be
Yeah.
unwell. Did you find, What do you find the medical professionals helped you? Did you feel ignored? Did you feel it was like, we were talking about the misogynoir of medical when it comes to childbirth and this. Did you feel that as well?
I think because periods, so little research has been done around women's reproductive health. You know, for you to be have a 100% diagnosis of adenomyosis, do you know how it can? The only way it can be done?
How?
If the uterus is taken out and examined. So you have to have a hysterectomy to be told you have adenomyosis, but by then your uterus is out.
It just seems quite barbaric in the true sense of the word. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so, come on, people, you made Viagra. We could do better.
Well, yeah, and you know, less than 2.5% of public funding for public funding for medicine for women's reproductive health is assigned. Less than 2.5% of public funding assigned to women's reproductive health.
And why do you think that is?
Well, it's not for me to say. But the fact is, it's happening.
Yeah.
And actually, I do say in the book, because I look at the history of medicine and the history of misogyny through medicine and how it was dominated by men, male research, the idea of women being hysterical, the Greek name for the womb.
Yeah.
What was the last man you spoke to who was told he was hysterical?
Nobody.
Have you ever met a man who's been told he's hysterical?
It is my fun to say, please calm down and lower your tone to men sometimes.
Absolutely. But have you ever called them hysterical? No, exactly. Because it's our word.
You're being emotional.
It's our word.
Yeah, you're being emotional.
Yeah. So I think you have to understand the history so that you can call it out.
Yeah.
So that and if you don't feel strong enough to call it out, at least so you can recognise it. So you are armed to say, this is happening. Even if you're saying it to yourself, I will get a second opinion. I know this is happening. I will get someone else, or I will challenge this without having to call out misogyny.
So stopping your internal wobble so you can get what you need.
Your internal battering.
Yes. Of like,
battering it's me, I'm weak, I'm making a fuss. Because we already know that, you know, to get an appointment at the doctor's is difficult, but to even get to the point of thinking I will book it is difficult. So if you've got yourself that far, you deserve, if it is negatively impacting your life, it needs to be sorted.
What advice can you give to people? Okay, they've overcome, they are booking it, they're walking into that appointment. What can they do? What would you advise them to arm themselves? What can they say? Tools?
You're not going into battle. Yeah. I know it sounds, I'm arming you, but you're not going into battle because a GP wants to help you.
Yeah.
They're there. They've studied all that time.
God bless the NHS.
And they've studied all that time, and doctors are puzzle solvers.
Yes.
They really do enjoy kind of getting to the nub of a situation and fixing it. It's satisfying. That's their job satisfaction. So go armed with information.
Help them
It's a partnership.
Yeah.
It is not you going to this God who will then deign to tell you what you can do or what you shouldn't do or what you should or shouldn't worry about. You're going there with a list of evidence, of facts, a diary of symptoms. So if it is reproductively linked, you're going there with the impact it's had on your life. I couldn't take my child to school. I've had to take 5 days off work in the last 2 weeks.
Evidence.
I'm at danger of losing my job. I fear that I'm not respected in the workplace because I'm, in so much pain. I cannot care for my parents or my children. If you have to spell it out, you cannot, as I did, go in and go, my periods hurt.
Yeah.
My periods are painful. Women have periods.
Yeah.
That is why I got that answer, because I did not say, I am flooding. I wear 2 pairs of knickers when I'm on, and I'm changing the whole time. I'm anxious the whole time.
There's
I
something
don't
wrong
sleep
here.
Yeah.
And that is your confidence to say that, and evidence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My therapist said that. They said anytime you have any self-doubt, what is the evidence of a situation? And I think that's some really good advice for everything.
Everything.
Like, are you really bad at your job? Well, actually, the evidence says contrary. Are you really sick? Well, the evidence says contrary. So it's evidence.
Yes.
I love that. If you could share some advice to your younger self, what would it be? So second act you is going back in time to first act you.
Stop battering yourself.
Oh.
Just stop battering yourself.
Yeah.
Enough people will batter you.
You don't have to be
The world is competitive. People will not want you to succeed. Just stop battering yourself.
Yeah.
tell yourself well done every now and then.
I mean, I want to cry because that was me. But do you think you were so harsh on yourself? I was harsh on myself because we were battered?
I think it had something to do with it. I think ambition and work ethic contribute to it equally.
I'm talking to myself because I think we're very similar. I was a workaholic, 18 hours a day, just ferocious because I really needed to prove a point that it wasn't me, it's you. Does that resonate with you?
No.
I had to prove myself.
I never had to prove it was them.
Yeah.
I just had to have the evidence.
Yeah.
I had to work hard enough to show I did the job well. I needed to be able to say to myself, you've not made a mistake. Mm-hmm. Because whenever I made a mistake, which is human,
yes,
I would beat the crap out of myself.
Was it because it's validating what all the things that they're saying about you is true? That's what I'm like, oh, well,
and fear that I'm going to lose my job.
Yeah.
You know, the tiniest thing. From the moment I started working, you know.
Is that because you're scared of money? Like losing money or that little voice that you're good enough?
No, I think... Yeah, at the start, definitely. If you don't have a job, you can't pay your mortgage, you can't eat, you know. Later on, it is letting all my hard work go to waste.
Yeah.
It's probably that fear of disappointing those around me.
The people.
Yeah.
And I mean, culturally, we are loaded with so much guilt. And like, I didn't work this hard for you to be an XYZ. We're saying there are 3 hot country careers. Lawyer, doctor, engineer. And we did neither of them. We did not.
Such disappointments.
Such disappointments, but also
bringing shame on your family.
Shame on the family, but how fabulous as well. This has been the best chat. I'm slightly obsessed with you now, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
This has been so wonderful. Thank you so much.
Ateh like pate.
Ateh like pate.
Naga as in nags a lot.
As in, it's fabulous. A lot. Thank you. It's time for your second act, where we read emails and voice notes sent in by you, my wonderful listeners. This one is from Laura, and she says, "Hi, Ateh. I've been feeling really mentally wobbly ever since starting perimenopause. With all the changes happening in my body, I'm struggling a lot. I just don't feel like myself anymore. Do you have any advice on how to handle this period?"
I've got lots to say.
Do it.
Speak up.
Yeah.
You know, great you've been in touch. Brilliant. If perimenopause can happen at any time, you know, from late 30s onwards, even though it's typically between in your late 40s. But if you believe this is a problem, and did you say she was tired? Or
she has changes in her body, she's struggling, she doesn't feel like herself, that's enough to go get help.
They are all typical symptoms of menopause. Go to your doctor, write a list of how these symptoms are emanating, how they are affecting your everyday life, and if you want HRT, ask for HRT. If you want other treatments, ask for them. And also do a little bit of work. Mm-hmm. Do a bit of research. You can go to the NHS website and it will list the symptoms of perimenopause and the treatments available, and have a think about what might work for you. But book the appointment now.
I love that. Take action is basically what we're saying. I think so many people coast for years feeling horrible, feeling miserable, not taking action. Like you said, arm yourself. I'm part of Menopause Mandate. Read, arm yourself, get your book, go on the website, and just, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You have the power to make yourself feel better, and I think that's half the battle.
Yeah. Stick up for yourself.
Stick up, advocate, and you will be all right. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions or thoughts about life in second act that you would like myself or my guest to answer, please send us an email to secondactpod@hellomagazine.com. That's all we have time for today, so thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to keep your questions and thoughts coming to secondactpod@hellomagazine.com. And we'd love it if you could please rate us on your preferred podcast platform. You can also find more second act wisdom on Hello Magazine. with the very best experts to guide you through your second act. See you next week.